The forbidden experiment. What happens if you raise a child without language? Imagine a child growing up in complete silence. No words, no stories, no lullabies. Just an eerie void where language should be. Would they be able to think? Would they have an identity? Or would they become something less than human? This isn't just a nightmare scenario, it's real. Throughout history, rulers and scientists have attempted the forbidden experiment, raising children without language to uncover what would happen. The results? Tragic, shocking, and deeply unsettling. Welcome to Infinitia Verity, where we expose the most mind-bending, shocking, and unsettling truths hidden in history, science, and psychology. If you crave forbidden knowledge, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because today we're unraveling one of the darkest experiments ever conceived. The idea of raising a child without language isn't new. One of the earliest recorded cases? Pharaoh Psamtik I of Egypt, around 600 BCE. According to ancient texts, Psamtik wanted to discover the world's original language. So he took two newborns and ordered that no one speak to them. No lullabies, no gestures, no words. After years of silence, the children supposedly spoke their first word, bekos, the Phrygian word for bread. Pharaoh Psamtik believed this meant Phrygian was the world's first language. But let's stop for a second. Does this story even make sense? Fact number 1. Modern science tells us that without language input, children don't just discover words. They become permanently speechless. The brain literally cannot form structured thoughts without exposure to language. Fact number 2. If Psamtik's experiment actually happened, those children likely never learned to speak at all. Without human interaction, their brains would have been irreversibly damaged. Fast forward to the 13th century. Holy Roman Emperor Frederick II wanted to know if children, when raised in total silence, would naturally begin speaking the original language of mankind. So he ordered that infants be raised by nurses who were strictly forbidden to speak to them or even show affection. The result? None of the children ever spoke. Many died before reaching maturity. Without words, they couldn't form social bonds. Some refused to eat, others simply wasted away. Fact number 3. Scientists today understand that human contact and language are not luxuries. They are essential for survival. Children raised without love and communication often experience failure to thrive, a condition that can lead to death. Let's say you grew up in a world without words. Would you still have thoughts? Some scientists say yes, but they wouldn't be thoughts as we know them. This leads us to the Sapir-Whorf Hypothesis, the idea that language shapes our perception of reality. Consider the Piraha tribe in the Amazon. They have no words for numbers, no 1, 2, or 3. Instead, they use vague terms like a few or many. Fact number 4. Because their language lacks numbers, they physically struggle to count beyond a few objects. Their actual perception of quantity is different from ours. Did you know that some languages don't use past or future tenses? For example, the Hopi language treats time not as a linear concept, but as a fluid, ongoing process. Russian and Greek have separate words for different shades of blue, meaning their speakers actually perceive color differently. Now imagine growing up without any words at all. Would you still experience time the way we do? Would you remember events the same way? Would you even have a concept of self? Fact number 5. Neuroscientific studies show that without language, the brain struggles to form complex memories and structured thoughts. Before we get to real-life modern cases, take a moment to subscribe. We explore the most shocking, mind-bending ideas in science and history every week. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode. Now back to the experiment. This isn't just a thought experiment, it's happened in real life, and the results, horrifying. In 1970, a 13-year-old girl named Genie Wiley was found in Los Angeles. She had spent her entire childhood locked in a room, completely isolated. Her father never spoke to her. Instead, he growled if she made noise. When she was rescued, scientists were shocked. She couldn't speak. She had no structured language. Brain scans showed permanent damage to her language centers. Despite years of therapy, she never fully learned to speak fluently. Fact number 6. Studies show that if a child doesn't learn language by age 5 to 7, they may never fully acquire it. Their brain loses the ability to process language like a native speaker. In Ukraine, a girl named Oxana Malaya was neglected as an infant. From the age of 3 to 8, she lived in a kennel with dogs. She barked instead of speaking. She walked on all fours. When she was found, she could barely learn human speech. Fact number 7. When a child is raised in isolation, their brain adapts to whatever environment they're in, even if that means barking instead of speaking. This brings up an even weirder question. If language is necessary for thought, does this mean AI could eventually become conscious just by learning words? Some experts say yes. Language gives structure to ideas, so if an AI learns language deeply enough, could it one day develop self-awareness? Others say language isn't enough, that emotions, social interaction, and personal experience are key. Did you know that babies start recognizing their mother's language in the womb? Fact number 8. Studies show that newborns cry with an accent that matches the language spoken around them. This suggests that language is deeply tied to human cognition even before birth. The forbidden experiment is one of the darkest ideas in history, and it asks a terrifying question. Are we human because of language, or is there something more? The evidence suggests one chilling conclusion. Without language, the brain never fully develops. So now we ask you, do you think language is what makes us human? Could AI ever become truly conscious through words alone? Let's discuss in the comments. And if you love diving into hidden science, dark psychology, and shocking history, subscribe to Infinitia Verity for more mind-blowing content. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious. Like if this blew your mind. Share to spread the knowledge. Subscribe for more weekly deep dives. See you in the next one.